Yo, what's up, guys? So here's part two of the 2024 NFL mock draft. So basically, since first part, Sean Payton to the Broncos, solid. I like it. I believe it was a fair trade, and I believe he's gonna be able to, turn them around because what he did with the Saints. Tom Brady retired, so Bucks are gonna need a quarterback this year probably, or maybe they go with someone else and then go for one next year. We'll see. But I did notice that I also forgot. I forgot how to divide. So I put 15 teams in the first part. So let's just pretend that didn't happen. I also forgot a few players, and I'm probably gonna forget. I obviously can't put all the players I want to put in this first part. I'm also gonna try and work on better ways to present these players to you guys. So I gotta get better at editing, but I'm gonna try and maybe start putting clips in. But with this 2024, there's not a lot of clips, and there's not a lot of tape on these players because they're young. But yeah, so first team that I have in this part is the Detroit Lions. So basically, I have Justin Flo, and I know I talked about it a little bit in the other part. I might be a little biased for Mr. Flo, but I think he has a lot of potential. He's a sideline to sideline linebacker. He's super aggressive, and if you watched him play in high school, and for the few times he played at Oregon, he can hit for sure. And the Lions looking good on offense, so I can see them going defense here. And Justin Flo did transfer to Arizona, so we'll see how that works out for him. Next up, I have the Patriots. They seem to have some secondary problems now. Jack Jones looking good for them. They got rid of J.C. Jackson last offseason, so Jack Jones might be the replacement, which would have been good for them because then they wouldn't have to pay J.C. Jackson, and he got hurt, so that's good. But they might be losing Devin McCourty and Jabril Peppers next year, or maybe it's this year. I forget. I have Tyreek Chappelle, and he didn't show that much in 2023. He probably needs to show more in 2023 than he did in 2022 to become a first-round pick. But I didn't really watch many Texas A&M games, and I'm pretty familiar with his name, so that says something alone. All right, so next up I have the Baltimore Ravens, and I have a few options here. I believe it was I think it's Todd McShay's 2023 mock draft, and he had them going with Anthony Richardson, which I hate. I don't know why they would do that. I feel like they would just offer everything they can at Lamar. But yeah, we're going to assume they sign back Lamar because I think they want to, and obviously they're giving him the power to maybe help choose the offensive coordinator. Even if they go wide receiver in 2023 draft, I think they gotta go wide receiver as much as they can. They are so weak there, and Lamar needs receivers. Like, he's really good at running, and he's good at passing obviously too, but he needs some help there. Like, I know there was some injuries with Rashad Bateman and Devin Duvernay. Yeah, so even if they trade for DeAndre Hopkins, go wide receiver in 2023, they could still go receiver this year. But yeah, if you look at guys like AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, T Higgins, they all got passed on, and in this class, there's too many good guys to pass on. First off, I have Malik Neighbors, who showed what he could do with LSU this last year. He pretty much surpassed Kayshon Boutte. Then I have A.D. Mitchell, who I believe he was hurt for most of the year at Georgia, and then he played in the college games, and he looked really good. Stetson Bennett was getting him the ball, and he's a bigger guy. Both of these guys are bigger guys, which would be good for Lamar. But A.D. Mitchell did transfer to Texas, so now he's going to have either Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning as his quarterback, which is a good thing. So he's going to have to compete with Xavier Worthy, though. All right, at 19, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars, and this is one of those guys where I feel like he's going to go way higher, and I completely forgot he ended up staying at Penn State. So he's probably going to be a top 5 or 10 pick. And I'd also like to say that if you guys are fans of these teams and you don't agree with where I put them in the draft, like, obviously it's hard to predict where they're going to be in 2 years. We have a whole offseason to get through. But this is just kind of how I think things might pan out. Obviously every team can't be good. Some teams are going to fall. Some teams are going to rise. And that guy's going to be Olamiwa Fashanu. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Most likely did not. But I could see him going to the Jags. They improved a really impressive amount in 2022. Made the divisional round of the playoffs. Lost to the Chiefs, which is understandable. They made the Super Bowl, so you're losing to a really good Chiefs team. You know, if you're having a franchise quarterback like Trevor Lawrence, keep protecting him. And their O-line was all right in 2022. And I'm sure they'll maybe address it in 2023 in the offseason. They could definitely, hey, if Fashanu is there at their pick, I don't know how you would pass on him. Here we got the Green Bay Packers, and I got them taking Corey Foreman out of USC. Foreman, he was the second overall ranked recruit behind Quinn Ewers in 2021 coming out of high school. He's 6'5", 245, and probably getting bigger. Now, he had no sacks actually in 2022, which is concerning. But he's obviously gifted enough to show that if he's a starter in 2023, he could pop off and, put himself in the first round conversation. And for him going to the Packers, Rashawn Gary is going to be his contract's expiring in 2024. So if they for some reason don't sign him back, Foreman has the potential to replace him. Although I don't really see why the Packers wouldn't sign back Gary, because he's been really good for them. All right, so this is one of the other guys that I feel like will go a lot higher, and I forgot he ended up deciding to go back to school for another year at FSU, and that's Jared Verse, and I'm sure you guys know of him. He was probably going to be a decently high pick in this year's draft, but he's going back to school, and I have the Browns taking him here. Also, disregard any other linemen that went before him. Like I said, I forgot he was staying, so yeah, ignore that. But yeah, he transferred to FSU, and he's been a beast. They're obviously going to be a pretty scary team. They have the chance of making the playoffs next year with Jordan Travis. He definitely could be a top 5 pick depending on how he plays in 2023. And the Browns, they will not be getting Jadeveon Clowney back, I don't believe, because obviously of what happened and everything he said. He thinks they're lining up Garrett on the easier lineman so he gets better stats or whatever. This would be a good pairing with Myles Garrett on the other side. And they already have a really solid secondary. So, yeah, that'd be really scary defense for anyone to play against. All right, Vikings fans, I don't have you guys taking a DB, so hopefully that's the case, because I know how that's gone in the past. But I have the Vikings going with Tommy Eichenberg. He could definitely pair with Hendricks pretty well. Let's see, with Anthony Barr is gone. And then I think you guys have Jordan Hicks, and I think he might be on a contract that might expire soon. Depending on how free agency works out, another linebacker would be good. And Eichenberg definitely could be the type of player that is a franchise linebacker, sticks around for a while, and pairs really well with Hendricks. He's really good at coverage as well as run stopping. And if you watched Ohio State, you definitely have heard of him and saw his name on the field because he was making plays. At 23, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I have them taking offensive tackle J.C. Latham. Similar to the Jags, they have Kenny Pickett. They're trying to build around him. They need to protect their quarterback. Their O-line was subpar. They could go defense here, but I feel like they're going to maybe solve some of their defensive problems in 2023. So we'll see how that works out. But, Latham is a beast. He was a beast at Alabama. He's been a beast pretty much all of his career there. Yeah, I think he's similar to Joe Alt. He's going to be one of those tackles that could be like a franchise tackle, sticks around for a while. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season, so keeping a solid O-line would help him keep that up. All right, here's a fun one. At 24, I have the Bills. Just a side note, I see the Bills addressing maybe some of their offensive problems in 2023. They're obviously a very solid team. They just might need, another wide receiver prospect to plug in there. Might want to upgrade on running back, although James Cook has been looking good as a rookie. But yeah, this is a fun one. Like I said, we got Malachi Moore, Kamari Lassiter, Javon Bullard, Andrew Makuba, and Jason Marshall. And these are all some of the guys that could declare, and they're all studs. They could all be first round picks. Most likely they won't all declare. The Bills secondary got ripped apart by Snowborough in the playoffs, and that might be part of injuries, but they could definitely use some depth there. And this class is going to have a ton of good DBs if they declare. At 25, I have the Los Angeles Chargers, and I think it would be in their best interest to wait and address the defensive tackle position until 2024, because if they're able to have Tyler Davis fall to him, that would be huge. He's one of 4 Clemson players to get 3 All-ACC selections, the other 3 being William Perry, the Fridge, Dexter Lawrence, and Christian Wilkins. So take that in for a second. How did all of those players' careers pan out? Some of them obviously still panning out, but Dexter Lawrence and Christian Wilkins have been monsters this year, and the Fridge, legendary. Yeah, Tyler Davis, he's a beast with Clemson, and he could plug in really well with the Chargers D-line if they end up holding on to Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, and that'd be a very scary defense. All right, here we go with 26. I got the Miami Dolphins. They just signed Vic Fangio. I could see them being at spot 26 or even later in the draft. I have high hopes for them. I think the only position that they might want to be concerned about is running back and quarterback, which, that is a bit concerning that those are those 2 spots that will change your offense entirely. Tua's having some health issues. I think he's good as a player, but, you got to stay on the field. And it took him almost a month to get out of it at the end of the year, out of the concussion protocol, which is very concerning. But they might address running back in 2023, but if they wait till 2024, they may end up sticking with Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert, which I don't think is the best combo. They're both good players, but they could draft running back and not have to worry about paying those other 2. And obviously I have, as you can see, I have Travion Henderson from OSU. He was a beast his freshman year. Sophomore year, he was hurt all of it. Just similar to Jackson Smith and Jigba, couldn't really get on the field. So that definitely held back OSU a little bit. There's obviously a bunch of other, this class could be loaded too at running back. Blake Corum, Travion Henderson, Raheem Sanders, Braylon Allen, Will Shipley, more. 2023 will decide what that order will end up being. All those players are potential franchise running backs, and this would vastly improve the Miami Dolphins. All right, so I have the New York Jets at 27. I have really high hopes for them in 2023. They're looking to pick up a veteran quarterback. There's a lot of predictions that they might, go for Aaron Rodgers, which I think would be great for them. Aaron Rodgers I'd put him in a good spot too. A lot of people are like, no, don't do that. Same thing Brett Favre did, but I think it's a lot different. The Jets, they have a solid defense. Their rookie class is literally insane. That was my favorite class coming out of the draft. I was shocked that they were able to get the players they got. Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, probably my top 2 favorite players in the draft before it happened. And then they were able to get Jermaine Johnson and Breece Hall. It's insane. I'm not sure how I feel about Quincy Williams and CJ Mosley and Quan Alexander being able to stick together and as top linebackers all the way through to 2024. So if they go linebacker here, Xavier Sorey, he's a stud. This would fill out that spot and their defense. And obviously Georgia can produce solid linebackers. Maybe another name to look at would be Smael Mondon, another Georgia linebacker. So, we'll see which one decides to fall out in 2023, if not both. All right, so this might be a little controversial, but I have the Chiefs going with Amarius Mims, a tackle out of Georgia, back-to-back Georgia picks. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, why would the Chiefs go offensive line? Their offensive line is solid already, which is true, but like I said, you have to look far into the future, and if you have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, injuries happen, This would be a good pick because then they would have depth. They might lose Wiley and Orlando Brown, and maybe some more backups by the time 2024 comes around. And Amarius Mims he's a beast. He's a big part of the Georgia team winning it this year. He's literally a big part. 6'7", 330 pounds. Just look at what Jamari Salyer could do with the Chargers. All right, here we got the boys. I got them going with edge rusher Jack Sawyer out of OSU. Jack Sawyer didn't have the type of year I was hoping he would in 2022, but he's super young. He's gonna have a lot more time on the field in 2023, and this is one of those players that has the potential to shoot himself up the draft board. He could be a monster. He showed flashes of it, but the Cowboys could definitely, use this. They're pretty solid. They're a pretty rounded out team also, but pairing him with Micah Parsons would make their defense even more menacing than it already is. All right, 30, I have the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers fans, I'm sorry I'm going another defensive back for you guys, but you should take that as a compliment. That is a good thing. Your team is good, and the only weakness that I can ever find is cornerback. And here we got Nehemiah Pritchett out of Auburn. He's the potential to put himself into first-round talent here at the end of the first round. The 49ers, super rounded out. I believe Diamador Lenoir, I think that's how you say his name. I think he was getting targeted a lot, so maybe they could upgrade from him. I mean, he's not bad, but, getting a young guy in there would be nice, or a younger guy. I was rooting for you guys in the playoffs. Tough loss. What you really need is a healthy quarterback, and then you'd make the Super Bowl. And Trey Lance or Brock Purdy will get you there. Hence why I have you at 30. I have you guys making it close, but, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously, this is a guessing game when it comes to positioning of teams. All right, I got another little wild card thingy going on here with the Bengals at 31. I'm from Cincinnati. I was kind of hoping they would make it. My main team is the Saints, but I am from Cincinnati, so I got to root for the Bengals a little bit. They're going to have to pay Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow soon, which probably means that Tyler Boyd or T. Higgins will be departing. Unfortunately, it'd be tough to see them depart, but, it might happen. And if that happens, they could definitely go and draft a younger guy, and he'd, play cheaper for at least, the 5th year, 5 years with a 5th year option. And I have Xavier Worthy and Troy Franklin here. They're both beasts. Xavier Worthy, he did drop a good amount of passes from Quinn Ewers this last season, but I mean, he also flashed a ton of potential. He was a high recruit out of high school. He's young, so he could definitely improve on those drops, and he could shoot himself up into the first round. I gotta stop saying shoot him up. That sounds wrong. But anyway, next person I have is Troy Franklin out of Oregon, and I feel like he was definitely underrated, like not looked at enough. I think he was a 5-star, I believe, out of high school, and he was Bo Nix's main target. He was making some crazy catches. I watched a few of the Oregon games. They have some good prospects to look out for, and he has the potential to put himself in the first round. I could see both of these players being really good and really high picks in 2024. All right, last pick. At 32, I have the Philadelphia Eagles, honoring them making the Super Bowl this year. I believe they're going to win it. They have a crazy team, and they also have the Saints' first-round pick next year, so I don't think they're going to fall off much at all. They obviously have a few free agents to sign back, but they're looking like a dynasty kind of. We'll see if teams figure them out eventually, but I'm putting them at 32. And this is another pick that many people might not like, but the Eagles have one of the best O-lines in the league now, but it also comes with age. So if they go younger at O-line, that would help them. And Cooper Beebe is a beast, and he definitely could go higher than this. I wanted to fit him in. I know I'm missing a lot of O-linemen. It's kind of hard to put younger O-linemen in because there's not really much tape out there for him. But yeah, he would be a beast. He can make their O-line younger and keep the Eagles in a good spot. But yep, that wraps up the my first attempt at a 2024 NFL draft, and that's gonna be one of many. I obviously missed a lot of players, as I said before. There's definitely some big names out there that I didn't include, and let me know anyone you want to see or you think could go first round. And yeah, so I have some fun ideas coming up. I'm gonna do a positional breakdown for each position. That's kind of a basic video, but you gotta get that out there. I'm definitely gonna put some more phones out though too. Can't wait to watch the Senior Bowl this Saturday, and I do plan on going to the NFL Combine. So yeah, back to 2023.